What's going on, y'all? It's just JC. For all my return subscribers, welcome back. For all the new people watching, welcome to my channel. So this video is going to be another Ask an MTI, but this one's actually going to start a series, a 8-week series. So you might be thinking, all right, 8 weeks, what are we talking about? What is that going to go towards? As many of you may know, BMT is 7.5 weeks, so this is actually going to be a 7.5 week or 8-week series talking about BMT, specifically a flight cycle. So I'm going to give y'all an insight of what it's like. I'm going to give y'all an insight from an MTI's perspective, starting with the pre-week and then 0 week with pickup and all that stuff. So this is going to be the first episode that kind of starts out this journey. That way y'all have an understanding of what it's like from the instructor perspective, and kind of give you all an idea of some things that that we think about, how we feel, and just some of the stuff that we go through. This is going to be very key for all of you that are looking to be MTIs, give y'all an insight, because I know before I came here, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just had to ask all the prior MTIs and the TIs, and it's a lot different than how it used to be. So I just kind of had to guess, and just went in there and went there blind. So it was a huge shock. First of all, that's really what it was. It was a giant culture shock, and just my body, my mind, everything was shocked from what I had to experience. So this is going to give y'all an insight from a seasoned instructor's perspective, and some of the things that I think and some stuff I do to prepare and to make sure that I'm ready to go for that week. But before I talk any further, I want to make sure that I give this little blurb out like I did before. All the stuff that we talk about in this episode, in this video, are specifically from my perspective. I don't represent the Air Force. I don't represent BMT, MTIs, and all that stuff. You're just looking at my perspective and my thoughts. All the stuff that we talk about are just strictly from my opinion and my viewpoints. And that's really it. So with that being said, let's go ahead right back into it. This is actually the pre-week before 0 week, which is pickup. Pickups are usually on Tuesdays, so this is the week prior, and some of the things that I'm thinking about right now are just very basic stuff, because at this point I've done it so many times. I already know what I'm getting myself into, and also I already know what to expect. But there have been a lot of changes in the last couple of weeks, specifically because of COVID and some of the restrictions getting taken off and some changes and stuff being implemented. So what I'm doing right now, actually, got my little iPad here. I'm just reading through my emails, reading through all the changes, all the policy changes, to make sure that I know what's going on, to make sure that I'm up to date and I don't tell anybody the wrong information. So that's number one, is just reading, getting my mind ready, just knowing that I know what we're supposed to do and I don't do anything wrong. Next, with pickup, there's a lot of stuff that happens. I know when I was a younger instructor, I lost a lot of weight, which all these other MTIs, they probably know what I'm talking about. You lose weight, and it's just the nature of the beast, because you're moving around a lot, burning a lot of calories, and you're not eating as much or as often as you normally would. So what I'm gonna do this weekend is make sure I hit up Costco, HEB, to get some snacks, to get some food, and make sure that I don't pass out, right? But I have all the food and all the stuff that I can eat on the go, to make sure that my body is prepared and my body has the food and nutrients that it needs, to make sure that I'm on my A game. So definitely looking at foods to make sure I have something to eat next week. Next, I'm also kind of getting my mind ready. So at this point in time, I've done it so many times that it's not really something that I have to mentally prepare for as I used to when I was a younger instructor. I already know what to do, but you still have to get your mind right, especially when you're going from a more relaxed environment like what I am right now, because I'm on leave, versus going right into the training environment where it's intense, a lot of yelling, a lot of moving around, a lot of direction, a lot of stuff going, a lot of high energy things. So I got to make sure that my mind is ready, that I can flip that switch right when I get there next week. So just thinking about what what I'm gonna do, what I want to accomplish, and some of the things that I have to make sure that I'm thinking about next week, keeping those little tidbits ready in the back of my head, so I can flip those switches and get that stuff turned right on right when we get there. So really, the last thing that I'm doing right now in the pre-week is just thinking. So not that much going on. as far as getting prepared because I've done it so many times. But I will tell you that next week is going to be a beast. Doesn't matter if it's your first time, first 0 week, or it's your last, maybe third, 15th, whatever it is. It's intense, especially if you're an instructor like me, that you're giving it the same 1000% that you did the first time you stepped in there. It's just who I am. So gotta make sure that we're ready to go. But yeah, for those of you that are looking to become MTIs or TIs, and maybe even on the other side, if you're just curious about some of the stuff we do, if you're an airman or a trainee or whatever it is, or a future, you're in depth and you just kind of want to have an idea of what the instructors are thinking, this is going to be the video series for you, because definitely will give you an insight of what it's like from the instructor perspective, and kind of give you some of the things to think about when you watch these things. So make sure, if you are those individuals I just described, that you hit that like button, hit up the comments if you have any questions as we go through the weeks, and definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these videos, because this is going to be a good series. Shout out to my boy Josiah, one of my good friends. He's a fellow E6 technical sergeant. He actually just medically retired, and he's living the life right now, killing it with his media company, doing great things. But shout out to him, because he's actually the one that had the idea to do this video series, and I was like, man, that's a really good idea. I don't know why I never thought of that. But I appreciate y'all watching this video, and I should see y'all not once but should be twice next week with the 1% podcast, and also the Ask MTI 8-week BMT series.